All right, this is going to be a fairly short lecture, thankfully. It's the second part of the paragraph lectures. And this one, all we're talking about is supporting sentences. That's why it's going to be fairly quick. As I spoke about in the first paragraph lecture, you have to worry about unity, where every sentence is supporting the topic sentence, and coherence, where each sentence is flowing into the next sentence in a logical manner. So one sentence goes to the next sentence logically, and the sentence prior, or the sentence you're reading naturally came from the sentence prior. All right, so again, your topic sentence, the topic sentence just states your topic. This is, like I said, a mini thesis for your paragraph. And then all the subsequent sentences within your paragraph develop that topic. Everything in your paragraph should support the topic sentence. Now, the different ways you can develop this, as many ways as there are essays in the book, are different types of ways you can develop. You can develop with a comparison, you can develop with a cause and effect, with a narration, with a contrast, with a description. You can use details, you can use examples. You've got to decide what type of support your topic sentence needs as to what you actually add into your paragraph. So whatever works for that paragraph is what works. There are no rules on this. Now, your topic sentence is your generalization. Like I said, your mini thesis for the paragraph. So that is uh, why most of the time you want your topic sentence to be the first sentence in the paragraph, because it makes more logical sense that you tell what your generalization is, what the paragraph's about, and then you give the support for that generalization. And you develop it with the sentences that support the topic sentence. That's how you develop your paragraph. And then details are provided by those supporting sentences, and it often has what's called RENs. So you're using reasons, you're using examples, you're using numbers, using names, and especially now for this next essay, the narration essay, it's appealing to the five senses, things you can taste, hear, smell, touch, and see. All right. You have to decide which, as I said in the narration essay, you'll lecture, you'll have to decide which of those senses is the most important. So here's an example, and this is why this is a short lecture. We're done with this now, except for this example, which is probably going to take the most part of the lecture. Here's the topic sentence. However, the first ride I got took me on the way to New York rather than Washington. So there's your topic sentence. It's a narration paragraph that is going to narrate this first ride or give us more information about it. So it was a big Standard Oil truck heading for Wellsville. All right, you all know, you may not know what a Standard Oil truck looks like, but you've all seen an oil truck going down the highway or at a gas station, filling up the tanks that go to the pumps in the gas station. All right. We drove out into the wild, bright country. So we're not driving out into farm country where everything's been manicured and everything is laid out and symmetrical. This is then to nature. Things are just growing as they grow. It's like, driving up north to the UP. Uh, Bright country, the late November country, full of the light of the Indian summer. Well, you live in Michigan, you've got a good idea what Indian summer's like and what that light is like in late November. It's a more subdued, kind of a warmer light. It's different than the bright light of regular summer. Now, here's a great use of verb. The barns glared in the harvested fields, the red barns. So these are not red barns that haven't been painted in a while. These have recently been painted. It's a bright, glistening red paint because the sun is not just shining off of these, it's glaring, it's blinding. Glared says it's blinding. So it's a particular type of way the sun, and so the sun reflects off the barn. So the writer's using the verb to actually give you more description of what it's like to look out the window of this truck that he's driving in. And the woods were bare, so just no leaves on the trees anymore. Fall's through, we're moving into winter. But all the world was full of color, and the blue sky swam with fleets of white clouds. This is also sweet. It's a great metaphor Lots of times the sky, the blue of the sky is compared to the blue of the ocean. And so fleets are normally associated with ships. And you can have these big schooner ships that have these big white sails, and this is what he's kind of making reference to. So these white clouds look like sailing ships floating in the sky, and that's why he's saying the sky swam, because it's a relationship to water. All right, so that's a good metaphor there of giving more than just saying, there were these big white clouds in the blue sky. Then the truck devoured the road with high singing tires. So this guy isn't just, putting down the road at 50 miles an hour or doing the limit probably. He's really tearing it up. He's going very fast and devouring the road. He's eating the road up. And if you remember what it was like when M59 was repaved a few years ago, when you got on M59, it sounded like something was wrong with your tires because you're going zzz. And this is what he's talking about. They're going so fast, there's these high singing tires. And then I rode throned in the lofty rocking cab, listening to the driver tell me stories. Throned is an excellent use of a verb there because the throne of a king and a queen, they are to be above everybody else because, God has made them king or queen. And that's how they thought when there were kings and queens we took seriously. Uh, and so the thrones of the king and the queen are always on these raised dioceses, so they are above everybody else. And this is how he feels. He feels like he's above everybody else in this big, Standard Oil cab looking down and telling me stories about the people who lived in places we passed and what we went on in the houses we saw. All right, so this guy could have just said, "Yeah, I got a ride with this truck driver, and we went down the road pretty fast, and it was out into the country, and there were red barns." And but he didn't. He really gave you a lot of sensory details in a lot of different ways, not just describing, but using verbs to help describe. So it's a really well written paragraph as far as description. Everything in the paragraph goes back and supports that first sentence about the first ride. Nothing goes elsewhere. It's all about that first ride. Anyway, I hope that helps you some with your own writing. Hope it helps you with the narration essay as that comes up. All right, that'll do it for this one.